morning, everybody. Rick and Deb here. We are in Hutchinson, Kansas. More specifically, we are in front of the Hutchinson Cosmosphere. We were here some years ago. Now we are back. And we're going to take you through a tour of this Cosmosphere. It's really pretty cool if I remember right. I'm sorry for the shakiness. It's cold out here. And I'm using my brand new K22 LG camera phone. And I've noticed that when I'm on this side, or the selfie side, it's got kind of a blue tint. And I don't know why. I don't know why it's got a blue tint. Hopefully it won't affect the video too much. I'm going to take you around here just a little bit before we go inside and pair tickets and all that. But it is Thursday, January the 26th, 2023. It's around 10:30 a.m. So if you want to come along and join me, well, let's go and check out the Hutchinson Cosmosphere. Okay, out here you have this big tall rocket. And I think there's an engine, or not, yeah, an engine or something over there. But that's where we're at this morning. We're going to make our way inside, and then we may go look at some more things out here later on when we get done. It's just pretty chilly this morning. Oh, we're going to head on inside, and we're going to get our tickets bought, and then we're going to start in. I gotta show you this over here just real quick first. Our restaurant's getting ready to step foot on the moon. That's cool. Okay, let me get inside and get past the admission thing, and then we will start taking you on a tour of the Hutchinson Cosmosphere. Okay, well, we got our admission paid, so now we're going to start taking on a guided tour, self-guided tour of the Cosmosphere Museum. Look at that great big watch. And this is a stealth. I know it's very, very huge. Let me go back here and kind of give you another view of it. Let's see if we can walk around. I'm trying to hold on to this where it's not so shaky. Well, this thing is absolutely huge. Wow, check this out. Wowee. And here's the other, the end of the thing. Wow. I've actually seen one of these up close, just like this, but it was ground level, of course, at an air show one time. I think it was in Wichita. It's been a few years ago, but there is look at this thing, it's massive. Huge. Wow. Ooh-wee. That's one huge plane. Okay, we're just going to kind of walk around the lobby area here just real quick. This here, this is Liberty 7 Bell. And that's what this is, I think, right here. Looks like it's been probably damaged when it landed. Let's just kind of walk around this a little bit. Now that's what they had to sit in. Can you imagine? Look at that. That's crazy. That's tiny. Look at that. I know, sorry for the glare. So the U.S. enters a space race. Wow. There's a simulator over here. Probably won't go on that today, but they got a simulator. I think it's like $5.50 to do the simulator. I would love to do it. Why might? I don't know yet. We'll see. And then this is the shuttle. Wow, look at this. It's crazy. I'm sure this may not be the real deal, but it's definitely a huge, well, look at this thing. Wow, I'm gonna have to kind of walk backward a little bit let me kind of go around this way. I'm holding on to this for dear life because I'm trying to make it where it's not so shaky. I've got a device that you can mount this on, and then I've even got a light. If I need to use it, I probably won't use it now. Let's just kind of walk back this way and get a better look at this space shuttle. I always thought these were so cool. I was really kind of sad to see them being discontinued. I thought they were just the coolest thing, that they could actually take off on the rockets, of course, and then wind up landing like they would any other jet or plane aircraft when they were done, when they were ready to finish their space exploration. They have souvenirs, of course. They got medallions for $5. We probably won't be getting one of those today, but that's just one of the items that you can buy. We may go through the gift shop here later, and there's a box office where you purchase the tickets, and it's really a large place. Let's go down. Now this down in here is where the Cary Digital Dome Theater, Universe Gallery, Hall of Space Museum, and Planetary, Dr. Goddard's lab is right there. Now here is the suit. Pilots flying for the Blackbird needed special suits to keep them safe and comfortable at high altitudes. Designed especially for Blackbird pilots, the David Clark S-1030 protected them from the volatile environment of high altitude flying, whether the cabin environmental system malfunctioned or the crew had to perform emergency ejection. And of course there's the helmet and there's a suit. Oh, that's crazy. The suit displayed before you was the actual suit worn by SR-71 Colonel Joe Canigo while he flew the Blackbird. Colonel Canigo served 27 years in the United States Air Force in the 1980s. He flew over 100 reconnaissance missions in the Blackbird and later became commander of the 1st Strategic Reconnaissance Squadron. Oh, that's very interesting. Very cool. All right. Now that back there would be the instrument panel, or the instrument cluster. And then this is the aircraft tires. Why are the SR-71 tires silver? Like the one displayed here, were infused with powered aluminum. So the addition of aluminum to the rubber gave a much higher flash point to the tire, helping it to withstand the high heat caused by friction from the ground upon landing at extreme speeds. Okay. And this over here, I'm assuming, is the. Uh, okay, that's probably the ejection or the seat where they would sit is right there. And then here's pilot Buzz Carpenter to the left, and then RSO John Murphy in front of 17691. That aircraft that we looked at when we wrote the black aircraft, that is what they are referring to. Okay. Now she said there was a downstairs. Oh, I guess that's where we're going now. We're going to go downstairs. Now this is where the theaters are. Oh, this is pretty cool mural here. And there's a blackbird there flying in front of the moon. Wow, cool. Oh, they've even got a cafe. Cosmosphere Cafe. Let's see what they got over here. Daily features, it says. There's the Cosmosphere Cafe. Patty melt, $7.50. Make it a combo for $2 more. Soup of the day, baked potato for $4.99. White chili, $4.99. White chili. Okay, concessions from 10 to 3. Full menu from 11 to 3. Okay, all right. This has really, really changed tremendously since we were here last. I don't remember any of this. So they have really renovated, or whatever the case may be. Okay, now here you go. Wild winds. Hurricane. We've been in these before, but they're the tornado ones. Okay, well, no food or drinks beyond this point. Okay. We got a little card here. I guess we got to scan it to show that we paid. So, I got my card here. Let's see if we can scan this the right way. Thank you. Please enter. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't remember this at all. This is totally different. Let me get a shot of this plane down here, this orange, I'm assuming a jet. Okay, now we're going to go downstairs. This is where oh, there you go. Ad astra per aspera, to the stars through difficulties. Oh, I like that. Yeah, we're taking our time here. The Bell X1 breaking the sound barrier. Okay. It says here, to reach space, humans had to overcome Earth's gravitational pull and rise above the atmosphere. To do so, another barrier had to be broken. World War II pilots couldn't surpass the speed of sound. Approaching it, many lost control of the aircraft. Wings sheared off, fuselages ripped apart, planes crashed, and pilots died. The first piloted aircraft to break the sound barrier was the Bell X-1 in 1947. By 1958, when X-1 flights ended, the experimental plane had flown at speeds nearly 1,000 miles per hour and an altitude approaching 72,000 feet. Wow. That's crazy. Let's walk on around here. Yeah, we will. Space race journey begins here. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union raced to be the first to shoot satellites into Earth orbit and put men on the moon. The starting gun of the space race was the A-bomb that ended World War II. Rather than risk a nuclear World War III, the superpowers demonstrated military superiority in other ways. The same rockets that shot people into orbit and onto the moon could also target places on Earth with devastating precision. Okay. Riding in the Black Beast. During the 1960s, the rocket-powered North American X-15 aircraft set world records for speed and altitude that lasted until the first space shuttle flew in 1981. There's a model of the plane we saw when we first came in. And this here is the dual XRL, okay, let me start again. The dual XLR-11 rocket engines. The XLR-11 engine powered the Bell X-1 into history, propelling it to break the sound barrier in 1947. But the story was not over. The XLR-11 proved a valuable liquid-propelled rocket engine and was used in other X planes. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff to see. I know we just barely got started. This, finding the limits of human endurance. I assume, no, I better not assume anything. Let's see what this is here. The little rocket that could. The captured V-2 rockets allowed the fledgling American space program to get off the ground, but V-2s were in limited supply and very expensive to fire. It was quickly determined that if America's young space program was going to evolve, a new, more reliable and less expensive rocket needed to be developed. Okay. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, all right. It's a good thing I didn't say what I thought it was. This here is the Sonic Wind 2 rocket sled. Displayed here is the Sonic Wind 2 rocket-propelled test sled, an extraordinary piece of hardware that was instrumental in answering questions regarding the limitations of the human body. The sled was propelled down a test track at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico by as many as 9 Sargent solid-fueled rocket motors. Between 1955 and 1958, the Sonic Wind 2 made 21 supersonic runs down test tracks at Holloman and at China Lake in California. Many of the runs reached speeds in excess of 1,000 miles an hour. Could you imagine being strapped in this thing down a sled or on a sled in this thing going 1,000 miles an hour? Here's a picture of this guy's face going those speeds. Wow, that's crazy. All right, I think we've pretty much been through this part. Let's go on. Oh, here you go. Now, what is this supposed to be? This is the legacy of the V-2 rocket. Wow. The legacy of the V-2, the Redstone rocket was America's first nuclear-tipped medium-range ballistic missile, MRBM. The rocket was a direct outgrowth of the German V-2 missile technology captured at the end of World War II. Wow. The U.S. Army developed the Redstone as a replacement for the quickly diminishing numbers of V-2 test rockets. It goes on, but the Redstone atomic warhead and the ballistic missile system which delivered it represented the very best of the early 1950s U.S. technology. The U.S. public believed its protective umbrella of technology, represented by the Redstone rocket, shielded it from the Soviet threat. This perception of infallibility was reinforced by the confidence of the Eisenhower administration and the presumption that the Soviet Union was a backward country with very limited technological prowess. The United States and its free world allies stood confidently under that umbrella, believing the Soviets could never develop a weapon that would penetrate it. I think we know who these two gentlemen are. It's good old Uncle Sam here. And I'm going to say that's Lenin, but don't quote me on that. There's no identification on it. I think that's who that is. Now this over here is the Sputnik sail over their head. Less than 1 month later, while Americans were still numb from the shock of watching the first Sputnik sail over their heads, the Soviets embarrassed them a second time by rocketing the Sputnik 2 into orbit. Known for its political flair, Khrushchev ordered the satellite launch in November 3rd of 1957, the 40th anniversary of the Soviet Union revolution. Okay, this individual over here, this might be Khrushchev. Okay, all right. Now this is Sputnik 1 model over here. This scale model of Sputnik 1 was a presentation piece used by Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev to various world leaders who visited the Kremlin following the satellite's launch. Okay. And I know I may not be pronouncing some of these right, but I'm trying. Okay, now, what we got over here? The United States could have easily beaten the Soviet Union into space with the first artificial satellite. Following the Soviet Sputnik success, the Vanguard explosion led to world news media to dub to the doomed satellite Kaputnik, Flopnik, Steputnik, and Puffnik. Okay, all right. This is von Braun-nose cone test. Okay. By the mid-1950s, scientists had developed most of the technology to make a rocket-launched nuclear warhead a reality, with one exception. When the warhead re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, it would experience surface temperatures more than 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit due to air friction. Since no known materials could directly withstand these high temperatures, scientists developed materials based on the concepts of ablation. They built nose cones from thick layers of high temperature materials that would melt and burn away during re-entry, taking the heat with them. Okay. Now, what's next over here? This is the Explorer 1 satellite, an American success. On January 31, 1958, the United States finally became a competitor in the space race. Explorer 1 became America's first satellite. It rode into Earth's orbit aboard one of the Werner Von Braun special Jupiter C rockets that had held reserve for this just one occasion. Boy, they really changed this over the years. Eisenhower formed Space Agency. And there's President at that time. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, Center, appoints T. Keith Glennon Wright, NASA's first administrator, and Hugh L. Dryden as its first deputy administrator. Okay. The Luna 2 became the first man-made object to impact the lunar surface and the first to reach a cosmic body other than Earth. Okay. Pioneer 4 lunar spacecraft, too little too late. In spite of its efforts to be first on the moon, the United States would wound up being a distant second to the two-nation race.
Readmission. Because our exploration by steps.
Yeah, we missed it. Okay, blast rockets. Launching rockets blast windows. And these were the windows that were enormous windows, and they were blast windows. Okay. Mercury Atlas 1 MA-1 spacecraft, another American disaster. Yeah, it exploded. You can tell that. Before you are the remains of Mercury spacecraft number 4, the first production man-rated spacecraft to be delivered to NASA flight. The capsule was first Mercury to be launched. The capsule was the first Mercury to be launched aboard the Atlas rocket, hence its designation as MA-1, Mercury Atlas number 1. Wow, and that's what it looked like, of course, before it exploded. It was an unmanned mission on July 29, 1960, but didn't make it. Less than 1 minute after the launch, and at an altitude of 32,000 feet, the spacecraft and Atlas booster exploded. Thousands of pieces rained down into the Atlantic Ocean. Wow, that's crazy. First in space, Yuri A. Gagarin. And then Alan Shepard was the first American in space. I'm trying to get it back. Here's a lost spacecraft. The Liberty Bell 7 mission was by the book until splashdown, when the explosive-powered hatch jettisoned prematurely, flooding the capsule and Grissom's spacesuit. The Grissom scrambled out of the spacecraft and nearly drowned in the swells. With the spacecraft full of water, though it was too much for the recovery helicopter, Liberty Bell 7 was released and the spacecraft sank nearly 3 miles to the bottom of the Atlantic. Okay. In 1999, April 16th, they evidently found it. Launched by the Discovery Channel, a deep sea salvage, and they eventually found it. Okay, well, let's go on. I'm not sure which way to go, but let's go on. You are leaving the American sector. Okay, I know what this is. This is the wall, or part of the wall. The German Wall. Okay. These panels are actual sections of the infamous German Wall, 1961 to 1989. The wall formed a dramatic barrier that split Germany into two sections, the Democratic and the Free West side and the Communist-ruled East side. Because we will bury you, it says. It's Nikita Khrushchev. Khrushchev and Kennedy square off on a race to the moon. World War III pressure valve, it says. There's President Kennedy sitting in the rocking chair. President John F. Kennedy understood the extraordinary political risk involved when he challenged Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev and his country to a race to the moon. Kennedy reasoned that if both countries exhausted their competitive and financial energies on the moon race, then it would be less likely, rather, those same energies would be played out on the nuclear battlefields of Earth. Oh, okay. Now here is the Red Thunder RD-107 rocket engine, space powerhouse. Wow. Okay. This is the first space rocket, Korolev's R-7, a missile like no other. Let me try to turn this around a little bit. Okay, well, let's go on here. Blockhouse rules for test in progress. Okay. Oh wow, look at this. Redstone A7 rocket engine. This is supposed to be where testing of the Mercury Redstone. Okay. Testing the Mercury Atlas, America's first intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM. On July 29th, 1960, the 7 Mercury astronauts watched the first test flight of the Mercury Atlas to Cape Canaveral. Mercury Atlas 1's mission was to test the Mercury capsule heat shield. Okay. The catastrophic MA1 failure caused some questions to NASA to question NASA's decision to launch men on the Atlas rocket. Yeah, they had to definitely work out some. After 6 months of detective work, they decided that Atlas weight trimming had gone too far. The failure occurred near max Q, when maximum aerodynamic pressure rattled MA1. The thin-skinned adapter ring linking capsule to rocket had crumpled under the strain. Engineers added a reinforcing 8-inch wide belly band of steel to the adapter ring on Mercury Atlas II. On February 21, 1961, NASA breathed a big sigh of relief as MA2 accomplished all of its mission objectives. Well, that's just kind of an explanation as to what happened. This is the booster engine. Let me just turn this. Atlas booster engine. And then this was the Atlas Vernier engine tank start. Okay. Okay, that's not open. Okay. I guess you can walk in there and walk around that. Hmm. But it's locked up right now. It says during inclement weather, the Titan rocket pit is closed to the public. It's cold. It's not really inclement weather. It's just cold. So, at any rate, I guess we can't go in there today. Soviet cosmonaut training, the Devil's merry-go-round. Okay. This here is oscilloscope, medical instrument that monitored the cardiovascular condition of the cosmonauts during their training for their Vostok missions. The instrument also monitored their heart rate of Yuri Gagarin, I'm not trying to mispronounce these, on the eve of his historic Vostok flight. Yeah, this is pretty expensive. You could just read this stuff all day long. That's all in Russian. Okay, this is 1961, the dawn of the space age. The first U.S. spaceman back okay. Pilot and capsule recovered, feat called success. Okay. Wow. This is the SK-1 spacesuit. The first spacesuit off the Baikonur, I know I'm tearing these up bad, Cosmodrome on April 12, 1961, with Yuri on board. The pioneering cosmonaut wore a protective SK-1 spacesuit similar to the one displayed here. Okay. Let's go over here. This is the Mercury capsule. That's actually what they set in. That is so tiny. I don't know how they ever got in that. Mercury spacesuit. Last line of defense. The Mercury capsule, the Mercury spacecraft was shaped like a truncated cone with a cylinder cone at the forward section, surmounted by a rescue tower. The capsule consisted of 3 nozzle solid fuel rocket. Okay, this kind of just tells you what was where. Aeronautic stabilizer, rocket to separate, safety tower, and it just goes on and on and on. And this is the lost spacecraft. Gus Grissom, the lost spacecraft, Liberty Bell 7, Mercury Redstone 4, second U.S. suborbital flight, July 21, 1961. By the time astronaut Gus Grissom flew his near repeat of Alan Shepard's Mercury Redstone 3 flight, NASA had begun to consider making Mercury Redstone 4 the last U.S. suborbital flight. Originally, the space agency had planned at least 6 manned suborbital Mercury Redstone missions, but Soviet space success and Kennedy's moon goal made that plan seem too conservative. Okay, well, let's go on here. There's just a ton of information in here. It's really pretty cool. Glenn scores U.S. triumph, some newspaper articles. Carpenter found on craft. John Glenn, first American in orbit. Friendship 7, Mercury Atlas 6, first U.S. orbital flight on February 20, 1962. John Glenn poses in front of the Friendship 7 Mercury spacecraft before being inserted for launch. Okay.
Soviet Premier Khrushchev loved surprises, and in early April of 1961, he and his rocket engineers sprang their biggest one yet. As the West slumbered, 27-year-old cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin rode a 5-stage R-7 rocket into history. The world would hear nothing of this until he was safely home from his single-orbit mission. Had the flight failed, there would have been no news at all.
I think we could have gotten into space before Gagarin. On the other hand, I think that the Russians knew our schedule and we didn't know theirs. So I think that they
well, I was trying to read.
Probably took a little more risk in order to beat us, and I think that
Vostok 2, a day in orbit. Okay. Vostok 1, the first man in space. There's all kind of articles. Sorry, that's not. It's kind of blurry there. Hopefully it'll get better here in a minute. Okay, come on. Come on. I don't know if this is going to...
In his fully ground-controlled vehicle, cosmonaut Gagarin's sole responsibility...
There it goes. Okay.
Unlike the American splashdown of heavens, Soviet vessels would come down on solid ground.
This is the Vostok 1, the 3 men in orbit. That's the Burkut spacesuit, space swimsuit. Okay, I am not. What is this? We're talking about the first spacewalk and Lenox's adventure. I think we're just going to. It says behind the curtain. Oh, look, this is the astronaut crawling out for the first spacewalk. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. And here is the Freedom 7. I like that. It's cool. Okay. Okay, let's start back this way. We need to start this way. Okay. This is the Gemini spacesuit. New mission, new needs. Michael Collins was the astronaut spacesuit specialist. Gemini X, 2 spacewalks and 2 rendezvous. Okay, and that would have been what this is here. Day 2 was the first spacewalk. Day 3, second rendezvous, second spacewalk. Day 4, re-entry and splashdown. And that's what they would have done. And that's where the hatch, that's the hatch, the door. Wow. Okay. This is when they found the Liberty Bell, and they raised it quite a few years later. They found $1.06. grease pencil with attached cord pencil holder, flight map. This is what they found inside. They had medical equipment, scissors, medical kit bag, motion sickness tablets, injection kit, antibiotic tablets, dial soap, and a box of bandages. Here's Gene Cernan's perilous Gemini spacewalk. Boy, look at all that it takes. And then there's the device, I'm assuming. Here's showing them their spacewalk. 8 days robust. The Gemini fuel cell. The Gemini spacecraft was the first capsule to use the fuel cell technology. By combining oxygen and hydrogen, was able to create the energy necessary to power the Gemini spacecraft. Given that batteries only have a little finite lifespan, perfecting the technology was essential for the longer duration of the upcoming Apollo missions. This is the prototype Gemini spacesuit and helmet. Boy, wow. Sorry about that glare. Survival radio, survival kit is right there. RCS thruster. Okay, well, let's walk on around here. I'm not sure which way to go. Okay. Did we get... Oh, here you go. Pop culture. Beatles, Barbie, G.I. Joe, and Gemini. What is this? This is the Drogue chute, Gemini recovery. Next stop the moon, it says. Okay. Footprints on the moon. The Apollo Gallery was made possible through a generous support of the Boeing Company, the State of Kansas Department of Commerce and Housing. Oh wow, here's the Saturn, the fiery beast that carried Apollo to the moon. Wow. This is the launching pad. Scale model. Boy, that's huge. Below is the actual shoe removed from one of the drive tracks, the Saturn crawler. It's just one of 456 shoes or links that made up the 8 drive tracks that moved the giant crawler and its enormous payload. Wow, that is cool. Oh, here you go. Look at this lunar module. Lunar module. 1968 to 1972. Wow. Look at this. These are a lot bigger than they look on TV or something like that. My gosh, would you look at that thing? It's huge. Let me walk on around here. Wow. And of course, this is the lunar roving vehicle. This is so cool to be able to see this up close. Huh. Wow. It cost over $6 million per unit. The lunar roving vehicle was undoubtedly the most expensive car ever built. Wow. There's kind of another angle. That thing is absolutely huge. Turbo, Plum, and Lox Dome, the Saturn rocket. Huh. The height of the Saturn was about 2 times of a space shuttle. Apollo 11. Oh, you know what? We need to go back this way. Apollo 11, moon rock. And there's the moon rock. The American flag. Wow. That's showing the docking. Oh, here you go. Here shows the 2 astronauts walk on the moon. Look at that big camera. Boy. Besides that shoe, there's the gloves and the visor, oxygen system. Wow. That's gotta be probably Diamondback right there. Right, we copy. There's enough boulders around here to fill up Johnson's Bay. John, we just saw Earth right, and it's gotta be magnificent. Charlie Bandit, fantastic day, really. It's genius. Certainly was fantastic. Hello, yes, Rippy and Charlie and I are hugging each other. And we is back home. Come on. What we got up here? Let's see what's up here. This is the Apollo White Room. You are standing in one of the actual Apollo White Rooms removed from Launch Pad Complex 39 at the Kennedy Space Center. It was here that, suspended more than 320 feet above the ground, too many historic and dramatic moments unfolded as astronaut crews prepared to be inserted into their Apollo spacecraft for launch. This small historic room, the butterflies were felt and final goodbyes were made. Wow-wee. Well, this is the White Room. Okay. How about miss this? This is what they would, that's what they said in. Look, there's the astronaut right there. Wow. That is tiny. Lovell's lunar spacesuit. This is the actual spacesuit worn by Apollo 13 Commander James A. Lovell during the ill-fated voyage to the moon, April 11th to the 17th of 1970. Wow. Near tragedy for a magical piece of hardware. Apollo fuel cell. Oh, here's Mission Control, Houston. Mission Control, Houston. Space photography. Look at these cameras. Now this is really cool. Look at these old cameras. They were state of the art back then, I'm sure. There's Minolta brand. There again, that glare isn't good. Here's the RCA lunar camera. And JVC video sphere circa 1970. Oh, here you go. Here's a whole smorgasbord of equipment. Jackets, shirts. Look at all that. This is the EVA umbilical used by Command Module pilot Ken Mattingly. Display and keyboard assembly flown on Apollo 12. Emergency oxygen mask. Maintenance kit. Survival kit. Boy, there's all kinds of stuff. This is the V2 rocket. And over there, you know what? There's got to be a way to get down there. There is. I'm going to go down there. We get a better look at this. Okay. The tree to herself. Okay. World War II begins. That shows some of their planes. The Comet ME-163, the V-1 buzz bomb, and the V-2 rocket. These are all, if I'm not mistaken, these were all developed right before the end of World War II. Although there is no exact figure, estimates suggest that thousands were killed by the V-2 rocket, 2,724 in Britain alone. However, a far grimmer statistic is that many more, as many as 20,000, died constructing the rocket. V-2 concentration camps. By the time Hitler had ordered German rocket production moved to the underground mountain tunnels at Mittelwerk in 1943, labor to build the V-2s was scarce. The rocket had become Hitler's ultimate secret weapon and his highest priority. It was built in large quantities no matter what the cost. Oh, now that's fascinating. There's prisoners working on the V-2 rocket. Just outside of the Mittelwerk tunnels, as Nazis established a concentration camp named Mittelbau Dora. Its primary intent was to supply the labor needed to build the vengeance weapons. When peak V-2 production was reached in late 1944, as many as 11,000 prisoners were housed at Dora, with as many as 8,000 of them enslaved within the tunnels. All the prisoners were male and were predominantly Soviet, French, or Polish. Surprisingly, few were Jewish. The working conditions inside the tunnels were unimaginably horrific. 16-hour workdays, hunger, disease, and torture took their toll on the ill-fated workers. By the war's end, more than 20,000 died at Dora, with at least half of those directly associated with the V-2 rocket production. Wow. And V-1 production launching the buzz bomb. And one eyewitness to the V-1 Blitz of London was Navy Lieutenant Gilbert W. Robinson from Salina, Kansas. During July 1944, Lieutenant Robinson was aboard the American Liberty ship SS Henry D. Lindsay, tied up in London's West India Dock area. The plaque displayed above was built by Lieutenant Robinson after the ship's narrow escape from London. The shredded pieces of steel are shrapnel from a V-1 that landed on the deck on the ship after a nearby buzz bomb explosion. The brass plate was cut from an empty shell casing from the ship's 5-inch guns and the wood from a destroyed chair from the officers' mess. Wow. V-1, the flying bomb. And I'm assuming that's what this is. Let me kind of swing around here. Yeah. Hmm. This is the ME-163. Oh no, wait a minute, never mind. Walter 509A rocket engine. Now that says V1 on it, okay. The Devil's Broomstick. The Messerschmitt ME-163 Comet was part of the arsenal of wonder weapons developed by the Germans in World War II. It was the first rocket-powered interceptor. Once the Comet's Walter engine was fired, the tailless fighter accelerated in nearly vertical trajectory toward the Allied bomber formations as the pilot fired its 30-millimeter cannon. And that's what it looked like right there. And there's a video of it. Wow. Wonder what that means. Oh, never mind. That's a elevator. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Small, sleepy German island fishing village just off the coast of the Baltic Sea. By the middle of the war, it had become one of Germany's largest and most top secret military complexes. Here's the V2 rocket, picture of the V2 rocket on the launching pad there. The buzz bomb and the V2 rocket. Okay, well, let's work our way back up. Well, guys, I think that's all of the museum portion. Hope you enjoyed the tour, self-guided tour of the Hutchinson Cosmosphere. It is very nice museum, very nice. They really improved it since we were here last. If you don't live too far away, I would highly recommend giving this a visit. Very nice museum. Very informative. You could be here all day just reading articles from like newspapers, magazines, and that sort of thing, but very, very nice. I think we're going the wrong way. That's okay. We're just going to kind of maybe walk around here a little bit. I hope this camera works out okay. This kept my cell phone camera here. Like I said, it's the first time, brand new. Have not, other than right now, being able to give it a trial run here. This is 4K. Very, very nice. It appears probably the nicest cell phone camera I've ever had. And it wasn't that expensive. It's around, a little over $100, I think. Not like some of them cell phones camera phones can get to be hundreds of dollars. When I get home, I will upload the video and see what we got. All right. Well, like I said, I think we're pretty much done. All we did today was the museum. We didn't do none of the theaters or simulators today. Okay, well, let's try to find our way out. I think we got to go this way, but I'm not real sure. Uh, oh yeah, I think I found it. We got to go back upstairs. They got a place for kids, too, of course, and that's real nice. Okay, we're gonna try to make our way out here. Oh, I didn't see that earlier. How do you get? Oh, okay. We got exit here, honey, I think. Through turnstile. I'm gonna walk over here for just a minute. I think we didn't get to see this earlier. Boy, look at this contraption here. Look at that thing. Spitz A1 Stargazer Planetarium Projector. Oh, 1962. Okay. All right. That's the portion that you have to, I don't know. Is this, can we walk through without paying extra?
Yeah, you can walk through, yeah.
Okay,
This whole level's free. And
okay,
then
the downstairs.
Downstairs
Okay,
is the museum.
okay. Well, let's just kind of give this a walk through here. I had to buy one for sure.
Reciprocal?
What's that? What does that mean?
Oh, look at this, an old scale. I had no idea that we could go there. This is the Walter and Velma Justice Planetarium. I about didn't go in here. Paving the way for the Apollo. Pinpoint landing. Look at this. This is so cool. We about missed this. Now that's covered up, but I think I know what it is. It's a spirit opportunity. I recognize it from the watching the videos. This looks like another, like a mission control cabinet. Dr. Robert H. Goddard, the father of modern rocketry. Okay. This is, of course, that part you got to go in. That's extra. This is the H1 engine priming for the moon. Okay. We was about to leave, and I saw this gallery. So I asked the young lady there if it was okay if we walk around in here. She said yes. So that's pretty cool. Huh. I would have missed this altogether. Now see, I don't remember none of this when we were here several years ago. I don't believe this wasn't here at all last time we were here. This is Neptune, the 8th planet and most distinct from the sun, the icy giant. Uranus probes, the bull's eye planet. This true color picture was compiled from images returned by Voyager 2. The darker shadings at the upper right of the disk correspond to the day-night boundary on the planet. Okay. And of course, that's Saturn and the rings. Wow. That'd be so cool to see these up close and personal. And this moons of Jupiter, you got Io, Europa, Callisto, and Ganymede. Wasn't that cool? Oh, this is a timeline. I didn't see this. This is a timeline of the, if I get my camera to focus in now. How did a museum like this wind up in Hutchinson, Kansas? If we had $1 for every visitor who asked us this question over the last 60 years, they wouldn't need any more fundraising efforts. Here's what it looked like back in the day. I did not know about this until, like I said, it's been probably 5 or 10 years ago. They just kind of show what it evolved from 1980, 1992. A Smithsonian affiliate. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think this is going to turn out to be a really nice camera phone. It does have the automatic light if you need it. I've got an extra light that I mounted on that, but I did not need it today. But at any rate, I think we're just about done. I'm gonna go outside and do an outro. I'm in later. Okay. We've been in these, but we've never had to pay for this hurricane simulator. You got to pay for. I'm not sure how much the cost of that is. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go here and do my outro here in just a minute. And then I think we're gonna call it a day. Hope you have a nice Thursday. The weekend's coming up. Hope you have a very nice weekend and you're not too snowed in wherever you live. Observation deck. Let's go this real quick. Okay. Oh, look up here. No, I didn't know. Observation deck. Here. Just a second. Let's go up here just a minute. Oh. Now, we saw this when we first come in, but look at this. This is at their observation deck. Wow. Now, I do remember this peak here when we were here last. And how they got that thing mounted and brought in place is, I have no idea. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, well, I think we've about seen it all. Other than, of course, the theaters. We're not doing those today. Okay, well, I think this is back where we started, so hold on here just a second. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that self-guided tour of the Cosmosphere here in Hutchinson, Kansas. I'm going to kind of walk around here a little bit and show you some more stuff that's heading outside of the museum. And like I said earlier, if you're anywhere close, this is well worth coming to. So with that said, I think we're going to call it a day. Go get something to eat. And I'm going to show you some more stuff that's around the museum. So, hope you have a nice day. Weekend's coming up. Hope you have a nice weekend. Hopefully you didn't get too much snow where you're at. So with that said, I'm going to show you some things here, and then we're going to call it a day. So, be right back.